So guys, this one is oral for oral. Wike don't put in leg for big wahala. Wike has finally met his match. So yesterday, Wike was saying that Bola Ahmed Tinubu could have not allowed Sowore to go scot-free while he called him a criminal. So now, Sowore has brought up so many evidence of what Wike said so many years ago. Like my people, this one is really shocking. Honestly, it even shocked me. Even though that this particular video, it happened last time. It happened so many years ago. But Wike, being the FCT minister today, really shocked a lot of people. Does it mean that Wike did not go through screening before they appoint him as a FCT minister? Honestly, because this is really shocking. People are now asking, what is the work of DSS? So DSS, they are not aware of this particular tape that was leaked by Sowore, where Nyesom Wike was threatening to buy INEC officials if they refuse to do his bidding. My people, if Nigeria is a country where the rule of law is in play, by now, Wike is supposed to be behind bars. But look at where he is today, bragging. Seriously, many Nigerians were reacting to it. Some people were blaming Sowore for coming out to say such a thing about Wike, while some people were so surprised that Nyesom Wike would do such a thing. I'm also going to allow you guys to watch that video that Omoyele Sowore posted on his Twitter account of what Wike said so many years ago. I would like you guys to hear this particular video, and please, if you're coming across my channel for the first time, do hit the subscribe button, like and share this video, and drop your thoughts in the comment section below. So guys, watch this and I'll be right back.
So, let me check in. That time he said I should call.
Yeah, what's the problem? Well, there's no problem except we ask that they should move the thing to the rack center they receive, and the usual intimidation. Intimidation by who now? No, we know that's what they will do. It's just that arriving late a bit and trying to put up the disbursement and set up our. I don't know what you're saying. You're not saying that anything. Who is intimidating you? No, like me. Nobody is intimidating me. We have people there. Tell everybody to be there. Nobody. You couldn't did it. You couldn't say don't move there. You couldn't did it. They couldn't do anything. You understand me? You couldn't go up and did it. So the USA will not do not satisfy. Yeah. The US process from where? From Plateau. From Plateau. But I'll call the Plateau man now. I'll tell him to tell me if he does not return my destiny, I will deal with him. Don't worry. No, let him just sign, that's all. Maybe that was if he does that he should return whatever. I'm going to make sure that I will kill him in this state. Don't worry. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Call the bank coordinator
Yes.
of Plateau, the man in the chair.
Yes.
That I said he should warn his man in Ghana.
Okay, sir.
That if he does rubbish, he should reform what we give. That if he tries it, that will make sure that he will never leave the state.
No problem.
So the time I gave him that he should warn him. If he's playing with people, he thinks that they will collect that and begin to do rubbish. That the time that I said that you see what I will do to him. If that's how they be, and then too, I think the man in Ikore, I think it's also Plateau. I think it's also Plateau. So find out and tell them that call the three coordinators that I said they should tell their people. If they want to joke with me, it's not me. I will kill them in this way before they leave.
No problem.
If I want to return what they gave them, I will kill them. Don't call the three of them.
Honestly, my people, if this tape is real, like if it is very authentic, then you know that Nigeria is gone. Anyway, guys, I would love you guys to listen to what Rufai of Arise TV and Ojobe have to say concerning what is happening in Rivers State. Guys, just watch this video and please leave your comments in the comment section below, and I'll be right back.
People faced disappointment on Thursday as Governor Sim Fubara failed to resume office despite President Bola Ahmed Tinubu lifting the 6-month emergency rule, directing him to return to work. Thousands of supporters gathered at the government house in Port Harcourt from as early as 6 a.m. To about, I believe, noon, and they were hoping that the governor will be back to the office, but by late afternoon, neither Fubara nor his deputy, Professor Ngozi Odu, had appeared. Let's take a look. Fubara government. Of course, we know it's Fubara's government. You say, why are people like this? I don't know. But yesterday, efforts by journalists to reach key aides, including the Commissioner for Information, have proven unsuccessful, with calls and text messages going unanswered. I'll take some tweets. This is from Dr. Champion, who wrote, "Interesting twist. The assembly is back, but the governor is missing. If Fubara stays silent much longer, it will only fuel more rumors about what deal was struck behind closed doors." And then another Twitter user wrote, "Where is Sim Fubara? We expected him to at least give state address today. He said he does not wish to go back to State House some time ago. Is he not still interested?" Fubara missing out on a big occasion and disappointed his supporters as usual. And of course, this Twitter user went on to say that they're happy that the governor didn't show up yesterday. Let everyone go home. Fake supporters. When he was illegally removed, the so-called supporters didn't say a word. They mostly moved on with their lives as usual. Let them all go home. Fubara will resume without fanfare. Well, we know that the Rivers State House of Assembly has since reconvened and passed a motion to probe financial transactions during the emergency administration. They've also asked the governor to forward lists of commissioner nominees and commence work on an appropriation law. Meanwhile, FCT Minister Nyesom Wike said on live television on Thursday that he drove to Governor Sim Fubara's house at 1 a.m. to discuss the Rivers State local government elections. Wike insisted that no decision was taken without Fubara's input during the emergency rule period. He added that Fubara had earlier informed him that he wouldn't be available on election day due to a family commitment involving his son, and accused critics of making false claims about the Rivers political crisis. I mean, this was an interview he granted yesterday on Channel Wike, and people were asking that what really is going on here? You drove to the governor's house at 1 a.m. In what capacity? What are you what exactly are you doing? But let me take this story, and hopefully we'll have that video and we'll play both. Well, in the meantime, during the flag-off ceremony of a road project in Abuja, Wike criticized individuals who disrespect President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, saying that they are fortunate that he respects the rule of law. His remarks came after activist Omoyele Sowore called President Bola Ahmed Tinubu a criminal on X, which led to the Department of State Services filing charges against Sowore. Let's take a look.
This is a country where somebody who was will say Mr. President is a criminal. Nothing will happen. Nothing. You say all kinds of things you want to say, nothing will happen. No matter how you see people criticize Trump, have you ever seen any American citizen on the social media, on the public, say, look, our president is a criminal? Have you ever had that? But yeah, anybody can wake up in the morning and abuse president, and we're happy. You are lucky you have a president that believes in the rule of law. You are lucky. Continue to be lucky. There are those you will meet, and you will be lucky again.
All right, this is a big conversation, but let us now play the video where Nyesom Wike said that he drove to Governor Sim Fubara's house around 1 a.m. to have a conversation about the Rivers LG election.
The Minister of FCT, the former governor of Rivers State, 1 a.m., drove to the governor's house. Said that. Yes, what do we do? He said, look, that's okay. We'll go by that. There was nothing that was done that the governor was not a party to it. You see, even before the election, the governor traveled, he told them he will not be around. See, because my son had this engagement at the Zoom. The people just sit somewhere, begin to talk all kinds of things. They don't even know, simply because, all they were expecting is, they've not settled. Unfortunately, we are settled. Unfortunately, that gas turbine is no longer there. Where people will be collecting money is no longer there. There's no law that said you must resume work today. For example, this is a golf law. I don't understand the way we operate. Okay, I was sworn in today, for example. Does not mean I'll go to office tomorrow.
All right, here he's saying there is no rule that says Wike must resume work or should have resumed work yesterday. But I believe we have our correspondent, Andy Omano right now at the airport, local airport in Port Harcourt, hoping to see if Governor Simfubara will be, arriving hopefully within an hour. They have reports that he's not in the state. But Rufai, what are your thoughts about, Wike's comments regarding Tinubu respecting the rule of law, and of course the fact that he actually, was discussing having this conversation with Governor Fubara during the elections and all of that?
So the question is, isn't it shocking to you, Orji, how confused our democracy has become?
Yes.
Why I call it demonstration of grace? You, Wike, was material and key to a state of emergency happening. So you were going to meet him for a local government election that was going to sway in your favor. So what were you going to tell Fubara at 1 a.m.? Was he going to tell him that, I don't beat you, this local government, they come to me? But we saw the sham that the local government election was now. It's not where we had the miracle of Obiakpo, over 300,000 votes in local government elections. That's the joke we have become. He also said yesterday on air, Orji, that if they wanted to allow the state of emergency continue, well, have continued. You know what that means? So anyway, it's President Tinubu that keeps giving him all of this leeway. But maybe because of the agreement they both have, only God knows what is among them. Anyway, he delivered Rivers for APC. We all know how the BBC wrote against that governorship elections and how shambolic these elections, the presidential elections in Rivers State. Moving on, him that is talking that somebody abused the president and they are talking, when the allegations against him abusing the president, this is not the same Wike that said for President Buhari then, that will go at it shoulder to shoulder, that if they try to do anything against Nigeria will burn. Didn't Wike say? You see, these politicians, I've come to realize, plus President Tinubu, plus Wike, when they are in opposition, they say something entirely different. When they are in government, they say something that him that is calling somebody. The constant refrain during Buhari's time was the fact that he was always taking jabs at Buhari. It's not during the Buhari time he called APC cancer. Is it not the same APC he's frolicking with now? Is it not the same cancer that is winning all the local governments in the state? So you can see these our politicians. In all of this, you will have thought that Mr. Wike will have been more concerned about a more pressing issue, which is doctors going on strike in Abuja FCT that is there.
He said something about it there.
But that's not the main issue. The main issue was Fubara. He had to come and gloat that he's there, he's in charge, and all of that. So you see, but I have a word for them. Everything comes and goes. See, I think it was Dr. Abati, I think it was one of our Nigerian famous poets, if it's J.P. Clark, with his famous poem, Riverbed, riverbed, sitting all day long, on hook over grad, riverbed, riverbed, sing to me a song of all that's past, and say, will mother come back today? You shall not know, and you should not bother. Tides and market come and go, and so shall your mother. That's stream-side exchange.
All right.
Tides and market come and go. These people will come and go someday. All
right. Dr. Abati, speaking about the fact that, Wike was saying that anything goes in Nigeria. That it's not the same country that, somebody called the president a criminal and nothing will happen. Well, we know that the DSS has filed charges. But I want to tie this in with this so we can discuss that. Now, speaking about free speech in the United States, Jimmy Kimmel's show, which was suspended by ABC after he accused supporters of Donald Trump's MAGA gang of trying to politicize Charlie Kirk's death and attempting to portray the alleged killer as someone other than one of them, has sparked a broader debate about free speech and government pressure on the media. His remarks were deemed offensive and insensitive by the ABC, and so they announced that the show will be preempted indefinitely.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
All right, critics have slammed the suspension of Jimmy Kimmel. Even former U.S. President Barack Obama criticized the Trump administration for threatening regulatory actions against media companies. The issue of free speech,
yes,
Dr. Abati.
It's the First Amendment.
Yes.
And then you have this council culture that is flourishing under Trump. However, I said the problem with it is that it smacks of modern autocracy, authoritarianism, whereby institutions of state are weaponized to, discredit persons whose opinions you do not like. And in a country where the First Amendment is at the very foundation of the ideals of liberal American democracy, I think it's a crying shame that under President Trump, we have the United States under him behaving like he's running Viktor Orban's Hungary, or the kind of dictatorships that we see in other parts of the world, in authoritarian societies, the old Soviet Union and elsewhere, where people cannot express themselves. But does President Trump care? He does not. He's going after anybody who does not express the same views as him. Before now, it was Stephen Colbert. Before now, it was Katia Atta of Washington Post, just for expressing a view about guns, the spread of guns and politics. Yes. That was how, Karen Atia left Washington Post. Now it's Jimmy Kimmel. Trump is even boasting that other networks, anybody that expresses any opinion that he does not agree with, should be fired from the platform. Now, that is not the only thing. They are now criminalizing anybody that says anything critical about the death of Kirk. However, this is the same America where when you had issues of gun violence, the radical right will not say anything. This is the same America when George Floyd incident occurred, right? It was the ordinary people who came out en masse. What did they use this same Brenda Carr institution, the FCC, that's the Federal Communications Commission, to do at that time? Brenda Carr is going all about now. Say anybody that says a word about Kirk's death, the person will be dealt with. And Trump is saying, yes, carry on. So it's not the kind of thing that should be recommended. And I was saying that, look, these are our African leaders. Very soon they will start saying that's what they do in America. And I think one African leader too has gone in that direction, harassing journalists, harassing people who present programs. But the other side of the hypocrisy is the hypocrisy of the ownership of these channels. Washington Post sucks up to Trump for advantages that the publisher is looking for. Nesta, they have about 200 radio stations. Oh, they've removed Jimmy Kimmel from their programs for their own selfish reasons. So when Trump harasses them, they jump. They don't have enough courage, like Harvard University, to stand up and say no. Yeah. We have the right to free speech. We have the right to choice. Yeah. They don't have the confidence to stand up like Lisa Cook to say that, look, under the Federal Reserve Act, what you call for cause does not apply in my own particular case. Now, the same Trump is trying to intimidate the Supreme Court of the United States on the question of his attempt to control the Central Bank of the United States. So it's a very strange development where America seems to be contradicting its own, democratic values. And Trump setting a bad example for other leaders in other parts of the world. I hope nobody will come tomorrow and say they are doing it in America. We too will do it. So they should not copy bad things.
This is why I have the two stories together, because really, Jimmy Kimmel was expressing an opinion. I mean, it's different from actually defamation and all of that. No. That right? Correct? He was
it
wasn't defamation. He was just expressing.
He may be factually wrong.
He was expressing an opinion. Yeah. And so we see this sort of media clampdown. And Dr. Patley rightly said, let them not go and say that they are doing it in America. After all, you know, they suspended the Jimmy Kimmel show. So now we have to be sure of what we are saying. Everybody, let me speak my language. Gente, listen. Well, all right. This is what they're saying.
Everybody that cares,
I mean, come on. So it bothers down on, you know, what is free speech and all of that.
How, you know, platforms are powerful.
Yes.
How you strike a balance between business and journalism. Where do you draw the line?
Where do you draw the line? Yeah. But we are here to speak the truth and transparently, right? Well, all right. Let's take another story now.